Alright, welcome back to the archives. So I'm going to start first with my issues with the whole framing in the video. Okay. I've been in love triangles many times. A lot of times. Shameful amount of times. Why? Because I was desperate. Why? Because I've never been loved. I literally have never had a boyfriend. I'm 41 years old. I've never had a boyfriend. Why? Because I don't trust men. Why? Because maybe I'm afraid to be clear. Why? I'm trying to show you the thought process, right? For me at least. I ask myself, you think I ask a lot of questions? I ask myself a lot of questions. And I think that was what it came down to. Is for me, the first point I'll say on why I think shaming desperate women is nasty work is because those are some of the most vulnerable women. And all you're showing me is that it's like the bully that makes fun of like the new kid at school. It's like a shark with blood. That person is desperate for love, period. That's who you want to get online and make fun of? It reminds me of when Amanda Seales got online and I never saw that video. I just saw other people talking about it. But if it's true what people are saying, it reminds me of Amanda Seales pointing the finger at Mr. Lindo and Michael B. Jordan than at the BAFTAs. And not to say she didn't do both, but like, why is that your target? The victim is your target? You couldn't go with a larger institution? You got big chat for the small little one? That's who your venom is directed at? Your vitriol is directed at the most vulnerable? Who literally has never known love? Who's begging to be loved from anybody? That to me is the first point. Is these are some of the most vulnerable, right? Like imagine how down bad you have to be to beg anyone for love. Anyone for love. You didn't get that love from your parents? You didn't feel that secure attachment at home? Your father didn't love you enough to teach you that you never need to go to another man because he is a provider? You're thirsty for love, period. Mama, let me give you a hug. Come here and let me give you a hug. I am so sorry. You have never known love. I am so sorry this world has failed you. That you're begging anybody for love. You don't have empathy for that? And usually with these people that are shaming them, it's selective empathy. But like, you don't have empathy for that? You can't, because somebody you hate is in the same position as them. And now you gotta hate all of them. So you don't have empathy for that. And I get it, especially if you've been hurt by a pick-me. Right? You don't owe anybody empathy. But I think just don't forget that a lot of these people are chronic people pleasers. They just need somebody to love them, right? They've probably never been loved. I cannot say I've ever been loved well. 41 years old. And the ones who did were like my girls, my friends, my grandmother. But she passed. May her soul rest in peace. And that's not to say that people haven't tried to love me or that I haven't pushed love away, but how the way in which I know that I deserve to be loved, I've never experienced it yet. Right? Have I chased it? Yes. Do I still want it? I hope so. Hi, Mama. That's the first point. 2, it just feels insecure. It just feels really insecure. It just really, congratulations, you didn't beg for love. Gold star for you. And then what? You were loved right. Wow. You're flaunting how well you've been loved? Yeah, it's a flex. In this economy, it's a flex to be, especially as a black woman. Please beg if you've been loved as a black woman. I'm not hating on that. But like, that's where you feel your power, is in dogging other women to feel up. That means you feel like you don't have a sense of power. You need to siphon power from other people. I'm not a powerful person, but I'm powerful enough to not need to siphon your energy to make me feel powerful. That to me is some desperate shit. We need to siphon other people's anger and outrage to feel, and I've been there. So I know that. I've done that. But again, when I did it, you didn't like it. You thought it was disgusting. You saw it exactly for what it was. My insecurities, being loud. Is that hyper superiority complex. We see this with a lot of white people. They feel inferior to black people, so that they have to throw on a robe and a hood to make myself feel like I'm a bad guy. You feel small, shut up. Black people make you feel insecure, shut up. I'm clocking the same dynamics here. There's an inferiority complex somewhere deep. And you're masking that with a superiority thing. I'm gonna call bullshit, I could be wrong. But when I do it, you can see it in me, but when you do it, you can't see it in you. And so it's just weird. I feel it's really messed up that you're bragging about being healed. Although yes, it's a flex, right? If you're healed, please flex about it. Because healing work is hard work. It's not for the fainted heart, right? It's not for the fainted heart. And so I get it. But if that's where you have to, if that's what you have to do to feel superior, I just want to question that. Right? If picking on other women and being a mean girl to other women is what makes you feel makes you come alive, talking to myself included, then thanks. Like you get a kick out of making fun of people about it. It screams not healed. And again, when I said I was healed, I was not healed. And I take that same approach with people now. Whenever I hear somebody being like, I'm healed, period, I'm like, ooh, you are not healed. Because healing is a never-ending journey. And the people who are actually healed know that they still have healing to do. So whenever I hear people being like, I'm healed, okay, so good job. Wow, I'm not. Why does it bother you? Do you know why it bothers you? Did somebody hurt you? Are you still beefing with somebody behind the scenes? Why does it bother you? Right? For me, it bothers me because it makes me feel ashamed. It makes me feel bad. It makes me embarrassed. That's why it bothers me. That's why I'm defensive. You're right. I can tell that you're right. And I don't want you to be right. But you're right. I refuse to see how they were the same thing. Right? They need to see themselves as healed in order to not be seen as desperate. And again, that's just how shame operates. Shame is all about blame. Shame is all about, I need to make you a villain to distance myself. Right? So this is why when I see these conversations, all I'm seeing is us negotiating a lot of shame. I could be wrong. I haven't studied shame in a while. But the literature says that shame is it's a power dynamic. It's all about power. It's all about control. It's all about manipulation. If I shame you for being desperate, I hope you're not so desperate and you leave my man alone. You better leave my man alone. Manipulation. Control. It's a control tactic. If I shame you enough, ho, you're gonna back up off. You're gonna go crying in the corner like a little bitch. You're gonna leave me and mine alone. It's control. Power dynamics. Power play. I hope you've seen that. This is what shame is. Which is why I wanted to talk about this. It's just a negotiation of shame. Often be like, oh, thank God I'm not desperate. Whole time, they probably still are desperate. Just in a different way. But how they're desperate is not desperate. I just ride for my man. I'm not desperate. But let me hear you talk shit about my man. Now we got problems. Oh, so you can't smile at a text message over a man, but you could fight for a man? You can cuss another girl out because she was disrespecting your man? Listen, if I ever get a man and I see another woman disrespecting him, I'm going to always assume he disrespected her first. You better talk your shit. Matter of fact, let me join you and let's cuss him out together. Because what he say to you? Why are you talking so disrespectful? Why are you coming at my man like that? So those are usually the women. They don't play about their man. I don't play about my man. Don't catch you talking shit about my man. Don't come from my family. Respect, yeah. But like, so they'll do that. To them, that's not desperate. That's not desperate because they won. So there's no way they could be a pick me. I won already. Just let me hear you talk shit about my man, and it's on site, bitch. To them, that's not pick me behavior. That's not pick me behavior. They will fight for their man, literally fight for their man. But you're the desperate one. Yeah, okay. Alright. I don't know, I just hate to break it to you, but I think there's some common denominators here. And I think that's what is triggering you. Is that they're showing you a part of yourself you don't like, that you need to desperately turn away from. You cannot see yourself as a pick-me. You refuse to see yourself as a pick-me. Maybe you've never been a pick-me. But again, congratulations that you just completely bypassed all of that heterosexual programming. Kudos to you. Your parents did a big one. You were probably not raised in a religious household. That's wild. I bow to you. You skipped all of that pick-me programming. God damn. Teach us a course. Make money off of that. Because I don't know how. To be a grown woman in your 30s and 40s and you've never asked a man to pick you? Right? Who's it online that asks in the spiritual community that's like, what would be the worst thing I've like, what is this thing I don't like? What would be the worst thing if you were a pick-me still? What would happen? If you just so happen to be a pick-me, what would be the worst thing about that? Ew, you look like your people you hate? Yeah, that's awful. How awful. To hate on somebody and then you find that you're in the same category as them? That's embarrassing. But what if that was the case, right? It's still male-centric. Even me getting in this conversation is still male-centric. Why am I here having this conversation? What a waste of my time. This is still pick-me behavior. Get on here all dressed up to talk about men and how it's still disgusting. I'm still engaging in this. So you getting online and doing it, it's still male-centric. We're still talking about men. I hate that for us. Often when we're judging people, we're usually judging ourselves or avoiding judgment in ourselves, right? I said the loudest ones are usually the ones who won, the ones who were picked, but they realized that they were not chosen. And instead of grieving the fact that they went through all of this, I fought for you. I fought for this ring. I fought for this marriage. And you still were not loyal to me? Grieve that. Talk about how painful that is. I don't know how painful that is. Because you can always have him. I don't mind losing a man. If a man ever puts me in a position to compete with someone else, mama, take him off my hands. Please. Because that's not my man. My man is not going to make me compete with nobody. It's not giving secure. It's not giving secure. He's still making you feel insecure. And you're taking on another woman. But we have to be more honest about the quality of men. Even the ones that claim to be feminists are dogs. So like vouching for any man in this day and age, fighting for any man, is really weird work. Because you will fight for him, you will win, and he will still turn around, and that same girl you were competing with, he will still humiliate you over. Again, I could be wrong, it could be bitter, right? It could be projecting. So, what do I know? Number 4, I've also gotten into, like, what did that do for you? What did that do for you? What was the outcome? And the outcome that they're usually hoping is that they shame you so much, they humiliate you so much, that you feel so bad, that you will no longer be desperate. Right? That you will back up off of their man. That everybody will turn against you. And all it's doing is making that person beg more for love. They're probably going to be more desperate for love now. But like, that's number 4. What did it do for you? What did you get out of that? And that's me talking to me, right? What did that do for you? Because now I can look down and maybe, oh oh my god, my cousin was worse at the pick-me. I've never done this for a man. And all it did was make me feel better. So usually that's what it does for us. It makes us feel better about ourselves, right? But why do I need to make myself feel, why do I need a punching bag to make somebody beneath me to feel better about myself? Number 5 is hypocrisy, which is what I just got into. They usually are projecting, right? It's just me projecting. When you see me talking about, oh, so-and-so is a pick-me, and oh, I can't believe she did that, it's projection. I found somebody who might have done it worse than me, and now I have an opportunity to knock them down pegs and elevate myself, to make myself feel better about what I was at. I think that's where, for me at least, I have empathy. Because it made me realize that as much as I think I'm so much better than some people, sometimes when I find myself there, and I saw a post recently that was like, if I'm not rocking with it, then I'm not leaning with it. Fair. But the thing is, usually the people who deny they're rocking with, that they could possibly rock with it, lean into it, and they don't even know they're leaning into it, or they can't even accept and admit that they're leaning into it. So they lean in, they'll say they're not leaning, but they're all the way rocking with it, right? Oh, I don't do that. I could never do that. Meanwhile, they're doing that. The hypocrisy was number 5. It just feels hypocritical. Because again, I don't know one person who's never been a desperate pick-me at some point. For anybody. Whether it be their friend, a man, another woman, right? Even in lesbian relationships. Women are also desperate for other women romantically. Number 6, the level of vitriol, it points to their own wounding, but also their own internalized misogyny. Like, why are you going so hard? You're talking about a switch on another woman? And I know it's meant to be a joke, but it's not. That public lashing, the way we feel so, especially with other black women, and I'll do this sometimes, right? Because it's a power thing. That's disgusting. That's wrong. That's not how it ever should be, right? Because you should always speak truth to where the power is. But I think sometimes the level of vitriol, it shows that we feel more comfortable dogging other women, other black women, than we do other people. You don't see them doing the same thing with their men. You would never do that to your man, but you're comfortable doing that to another woman? Pick me! That's a pick me behavior. No? Am I wrong about that? You can't come at men with that same vitriol, but you can bring all that smoke for another woman and other women? I don't know. What about the men that are manipulating both sides? Usually the man is a problem. It's always the man, not the other woman. You can exert your energy on her, but he's the one that's making her feel comfortable enough to say all that shit. Something had to have happened. She's not just completely delusional. Maybe he really doesn't want her, but at some point, the men make other women feel comfortable enough to disrespect you. Why are you making her feel so comfortable and disrespecting you like that? Can we point the finger more at men and stop dragging other women? So embarrassing. It's all getting pick me. Even me having this conversation right now, it's still pick me. It's unnecessary. Could we stop picking them or asking to be picked by them? Because these same men will really humiliate you. Will really switch up on you. The femicide rates are so high. They really don't love a lot of women. And so are we fighting other women for men that are worth it? It's a question. In my case, it has never been worth it. And so now we separated and divided ourselves for a man. Sisterhood is not so sacred, is it? It's 11:11. I'm gonna wrap this up. That's all I have to say. You can always have him. It's a disrespect. There's a level of disrespect. This is disrespectful. They don't care for you. They don't like you. And that's okay. We don't have to like each other, right? But like, don't come in here disrespecting people. And if you do, just expect to also be disrespected right back, right? But again, this back and forth, Why are we still going at each other? What man planted a seed in the both of us to even engage in these stupid dynamics? It's being a pick me is nasty, nasty, nasty work. And that's what I'm gonna get into next, okay? See you soon.